So cold tactics. I manage accounts not inside of Google Ads. That's the first thing that people really need to change a mindset of is what is inside of Google Ads is relevant and it's important. It's just not the full story. And I know I'm a broken record and beating the same drum, but until the questions come in that are more about like NCAC and MER and those type of and LTV type of questions and less about like the CPA and ROAS, I think the better. And the more that you start to apply the learning that we're teaching, you'll see that your day actually becomes a lot easier because you're not necessarily panicking about an arbitrary metric that may not have any sort of influence on the client. And actually, you know what? I have one more that I'm going to add to the deep dive. It's actually a client that I've built their company for like the last 4 years. I passed it off to a media buyer after we sold Solutions 8. The media buyer was not able to portray the messages that I was trying to get to the client about what the client needs to do, and the client ended up firing us. And we're going to talk about what they did in that account because it wasn't cold focused and the results. So we have cold focus and what happens when you do not do cold focus. So what cold focus is how do we make sure that the campaign is going to the most amount of first click, first seen, first impressed, number one position, highest rank. I mean, basically, how can we be number one to the people who have never heard about us ever? And I will take specific actions inside the account to leverage an algorithmic result. So what I mean by this is these have two standard shopping campaigns in this one account. You're going to see one is called co-op and one is called non-co-op. They're spending about this month, $250,000 each-ish. And the differences between these two is the co-op. I'm really never going to win. Like this one is just the one that we have to run. This money, by the way, is money that does not come out of our own pocket. The reason why it's called co-op is because all of the companies like Elanco, BI, and Burback give us hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad spend each month in order to sell their products for them, like NextGuard and HeartGuard and Bravecto and Frontline and Trifexis and Seresto. All the stuff that everyone hears a TV commercial about. K9 Advantix 2. Like if you have a pet, or if you've ever had a pet, or if you ever watched TV, you've probably heard of most of these brands. So we'll spend a decent amount of money, about $250,000 a month, and it's spent between like $100,000 here, $70,000 there, $10,000. These are all fixed budgets. So NextGuard, we have $100K a month we can spend. HeartGuard, we have $70K a month we can spend. Bravecto, we have $10K a month we can spend. So the results in this campaign, I really don't care. We just like, hey, whatever we get, and fine. I'm going to not really win these, as you can see, because the HeartGuard is up at VetMedin, as an example. VetMedin. If you Google VetMedin, guess who's first? Me. Guess who's second? The people that spend 12 times more than me per month. So Chewy spends 12 million. I spend about $1 million. I will beat them most often because I am cold focused. What the cold focus means is you type in VetMed and your eyes do this and they go immediately here first. Is that the product? Yes. Is that the product? Yes. What's the price? Is it good? Yes. Is it better than that? Yes. Is it better than that? Yes. 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 No, it's the same price. Why I said that I'm never really going to win. We all get the same ad spend from the same company. We get to sell the same product at the same price. So as long as I'm first and they're last, okay, good. I have a chance. But that's why this is a campaign that is not a great campaign to look at. My ROAS is 0.14. My NCAC is $812. Did we spend it? No. Do we get all the revenue? Yeah, it's cool. So we get all of the revenue, none of the cost. So we're going to kind of like, not really look at that campaign, unfortunately, because that's the difference. This campaign here, though, called the non-co-op, this actually has the old ones that we had to move out. And then we have something called a catch-all. And the catch-all stuck at a 50% T-ROAS goal. And those 50% T-ROAS goal and that catch-all has 3,195 products. That's it. That is all of our SKUs in one big ass campaign. Why? Well, a few things. When you do a cold focused approach, which is my campaign set at 10, but the ad group is set at 50, I am getting a 101. This happens almost every time. Whatever the T-ROAS target is, And this one here, I think, was the old one. So this one they moved to a 300, but it used to be like a 40. This is the old one that we had from, I don't know, like all the way back in here. This is the one that we launched way back in December. That used to have a 40% T-ROAS goal, and we were getting a 3.31. And actually go back and change history. You just got to trust me on this one. I have had videos on this one before. This is what we invented actually Dogpile with. So this has been around since we invented Dogpile back in December of last year. So, but that 300% T-ROAS goal was always getting a 3.31. Like everything was fine. No matter what goal you set, it is not meaning that that is the goal you're going to get. People need to really get that out of their mind. That is something that is a falsity beaten in our head as a lie from Google themselves in order for us to give them more money. Please do not fall into the trap. I am here spending millions of dollars showing you why. Like it is so important. Reason being,
quick point on that too. So and just for those that didn't understand what John just said, if you set something at a 200% T-ROAS, doesn't mean that that is going to get you a 200% T-ROAS for your business or a ROAS for your business. That doesn't mean that you're going to put in $1 and get $2 out every single time for your business. It does not mean that's the case. That is just telling the algorithm that I want to get a 2x. What the algorithm does is what I believe you're going to explain in just a second here, but yes, I just want to make that important.
So let me do this. Let's reduce it back down to demystifying Google's lies as they start to change stuff like shopping campaign into maximum performance, also known as performance max. So when you put a marketing spin on it and auto bid, the marketers get all excited. We're like, oh, cool, new sexy tool that I get to fuck around with and press buttons and find out what works. Let's reduce it back down to the actual algorithm though. What is this here? And I'm just going to, Caden, you're going to be my guest star today. What is this? What do we call that in the industry? I'm going to set something. I'm going to update the what?
The bidding strategy.
Bidding strategy, right? Bidding. Keyword bidding, cost per click, the bid. If my target return on ad spend is at 300%, and I'm not getting a 300%, I will get a 300%. And what do people believe? It just magically shoots out 3 times the amount of conversions out of its ass. No, it reduces spend. That's how it gets there. It is a ratio. It's a ratio. So if you're asking for a 3x and it's spending 1,000, getting 1,000, it's not going to spend 1,000 and get 3,000 like everyone wants. It's just like, oh, here's the triple sales button. Oh, I missed the triple sales button. That's not what happens.
Triple the efficiency. Yeah.
Right. It's a tripling of the efficiency. So if you're going to spend 1,000, get 1,000, you add a 300% T-ROAS. Now you're spending 300 to get 1,000. Ta-da! All you did is reduce spend. And people are like, well, it's not scaling. Yes, because there is no such thing as a triple sales button. It doesn't exist. So the way we have to think about it is how restrictive do we want that bid? And when you're doing cold focused restriction on a new person never seen before, I've really hope this hits home for a lot of people. This, and you've probably seen me do these before.
Oh yeah.
This is the same thing from a cold focus. T-ROAS target.
Well, this is an audience bubble.
These buckets right here, this one, and this one. This is impressions. Let's call it, we'll call it impressions. That's the amount of impressions / people / humans / audience / insert name of people again here. Like this is the people. This is how many people you can have. You have 1,000, you have 500, and let's say 200. So you have 3 different levels of impressions that you can capture. So when you're looking at a T-ROAS of 50%, that equals 90% of the biggest bubble. So a T-ROAS of 50% means your impressions or people or humans or audience, whatever you want to call it.
Things.
The people, that is here. You're in that big black circle right there. That's your ceiling. That's how many you can go after. Now, reducing that down to the middle area here in the red, this is a T-ROAS of 100%. This means that you're not going to get all of the people up here. You're not going to get all of those people who are maybe more upper funnel or maybe just not known by Google. You're restricted to in here. You get 66% of the bubble. That's your life. That's all you get. Why won't it scale?
It's not always 66%, by the way.
Well, no, it's in this example.
Yeah.
This is an
Yeah.
example. So apply this as an example, learn the movements and the rules, insert different percentile and scale trends though. So let's
Yeah.
just call it that. Let's just say a 100% T-ROAS gets you 66% of your audience. A T-ROAS at 100% could be 5%, and a T-ROAS at 50 could be 100. So you're looking at the learning low, where you're educating yourself on the higher the restriction, the tighter the audience that it thinks it can convert. So what ended up happening is you set a 200% T-ROAS target. You only get about 1/3 of your available audience. You're only getting 1/3 of what? Of people, of human impressions. When you say, why can't my 200% T-ROAS spend? Well, you're only getting 1/3 of who? Humans, people, audiences, impressions. It's the same thing. So as you start to look at your T-ROAS increasing, it's going smaller to people that it likes and it knows. Why does Google know these people here? Does Caden, would you want to answer for that, or do you want me to just keep going? Why would it only know these people here?
Yeah, so those are people that are showing warm signals, or they've been to your site, or they're repeat customers, people that it knows it can convert. That could be from another channel. That could just be from, people that have been to your site. It's very, very likely for those people to be warm traffic. Now, that depends on your business model, but that is most likely that audience right there.
Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.